Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2020. This may be our final game of the Christmas Day broadcast.
Could be Atlas, and I gotta say, I thought for sure we have 2-0 in this series. I think most people thought that.
Yeah.
That last game didn't change my opinion of it being a 2-0, but it was a lot closer than I expected. It was a lot more fun than I expected, and we'll see what happens in this next game. Maybe we've got more fun surprises potentially coming in.
Yeah, we might. I believe there have been some slight roster shuffles. What that necessarily means is yet to be discovered. However, I think that you're right. I think Hanwha still look like definitely the better team. They also drafted better and then played to their comp a little bit better in that game. Admittedly, there were some moments where we were like, oh, is Yone going to hard carry? But it didn't happen. Unfortunately, when you've got teams that have less experience, closing out games is often the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
And with an early game comp like that, you have to be able to close out.
You have to close. You have to keep. You have to carry that tempo advantage forever. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go, well, we were ahead before, and now we're just going to go into the even late game and just kind of slow down. But the comp struggles, right? It's like every single minute that goes by, it's harder and harder to keep rolling forward, right? The ball is it's like the anti-snowball effect. The snowball's melting as it rolls down the hill. I'm really bad with analogies.
No,
today.
that was actually a pretty good one. I was into that. I was totally following.
As long as we're not talking about stilts made of chopsticks.
that definitely sort of went past. But I think that when you're a newer team, when you're a team that doesn't necessarily have as much experience behind them, and in high-pressure situations, I think it's always better to shoot for having more strength later rather than more strength early, because then you don't have to make the plays. You don't have to be the one that dictates the pace of the game. As Dice is going to come in, Ophelia had his Yone time, but now we'll see how many Dice there are. This time around. Dice had a really rough last performance.
Yeah.
But now he's the one that has to take a chance against Chovy, who really just rolled over the game by accident in the first one. It was a very, very powerful performance by our 24-minute Flame Horizon Chovy.
Dice is very much a more mage-oriented player, and I think we'll probably see him end up on one of the three main mages. You see the Zoe is a little bit less common, but then the Orianna and the Syndra, AP mid champions.
Yep.
See the
Pretty
MF
standard
ban, as Def doesn't want to deal with that lane oppression anymore. That's a pretty high ban there on the MF.
It's definitely a higher priority than we have been seeing. That's absolutely true.
It also could lead us into that. I mean, it kind of forces Gen.G down this awkward path of either they give up first pick Graves or they give up first pick Samira. If they both are left open, as they will be with this Lucian pick, then Hanwha Life Esports gets one of the two. You get Arthur on Graves, which is quite strong, or you get Def on Samira, which sounds even scarier. So they're going to actually leave both open, so whichever Hanwha Life doesn't take, they get the opportunity to snatch up themselves. And with the Olaf ban, I think they should take the, I was going to say I think they should take the Graves, but
I think if this is on Graves, it gets very hard for Hanwha.
Yeah, I agree.
Samira, though, is just dumb. Be it Demacia Cup or the KeSPA Cup, I think she's sitting at like 70% win rate. She's seen almost 100% presence. She's just real silly.
She, going into today, let me look, she was 4-2. She's now 6-2, I believe. So take it as you will.
Yeah, definitely a strong champion. It's going to be Gragas.
Yeah.
This is an interesting pick. Certainly a lot of flexibility here, but the Graves, an understandable pickup here. Arthur, where does he want to go? He had a great game on the Graves last time around, but now looks like it might be Kindred.
Kindred can be quite strong with the Samira, but also has some anti-synergy versus the Gragas, like you were talking about earlier on today with the explosive cask. I like the Hecarim a lot more in this case.
Yep, I feel like Hecarim, as far as a champion to take into the Gragas, like you were talking about, definitely a better choice.
Yeah.
The fact that the Onslaught of Shadows is CC immune is definitely valuable.
Did we just see Morgan's, well, not going to be the case. I thought we might just see Morgan's Ornn again here. They want to feel out how the rest of the matchups are going to look first before they just blind pick the Ornn, and Leona has been extremely successful this tournament, as well as with Samira here. You have so much you can work with down there in the bot lane, and Deft is going to get to play a real game, as that's what he's hoping for here. Fingers crossed.
Yep. Again, with the KeSPA, seems to be the second-tier choice underneath the Samira. So it could just be the bottom lane. We say this all the time when it comes to seeing Gragas. This could be Gragas KeSPA on the bottom lane.
He has been played a lot more top than support this tournament, but
yeah, it really hasn't been a lot of support, but he can still go there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the Ornn ban, shocker, since they took Leona over that instead.
Renekton still exists as well, but it is going to be more of that support focus. As yeah, I think the assumption is that the Gragas isn't a support champion, but still you have to respect the flex.
I feel like Aatrox is a pretty nice pick here too for Hanwha Life Esports into the Gragas even. Can be a little bit tough at times, but I think it's good versus the KeSPA and the Graves here. I don't think you per se need a big tank, and it looks like Gen.G is kind of with my thinking here with the Aatrox ban coming through.
Yep, not bad.
Gangplank is another champion we've seen in the top lane quite a lot here that could be strong. Really trying to decide whether you want, you know, a tank in that lane or not. I mean, we haven't seen Kennen too much. He could be another strong pick here.
I think we've only ever seen Kennen banned, not actually played.
I think he played once, right?
Oh, potentially.
I think on day 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
It was
a
like
lot
2
of games
days ago. My goodness.
A lot of games ago.
Yeah. That was when I was still thinking about Christmas presents, you know.
Sure, sure.
Not anymore. As Sylas to be banned away here as well. More of a flexible ban. Seen a lot of Sylas bans, but only seen him played a couple of times. Did look good when he was on the Rift, though. So, an understandable takeaway.
He's been played a lot into some of those mages in the mid lane. You see the Maokai come through here.
This is exactly the bottom lane Hanwha ran in the last game.
Yep.
Oh no, the Malphite.
Malphite top only been played once by Rich. He did end up losing that map. It was against Damwon. But looks like we might have our second one here.
Well, we'll
gonna
see.
get locked in.
Yeah, the Orianna does make some sense. And Unstoppable Force with a ball. Yeah, pretty good CC chain.
I mean, in a lot of ways, Malphite is kind of like budget Ornn. He can engage the same way with his Unstoppable Force. Is going to build very likely that same Sunfire Aegis. So functions very similarly.
Yep.
And can be really strong against the Gragas as well.
Ooh. Whoa, okay. Aurelia to be locked in. This is
mid-Aurelia.
Mid-Aurelia.
Yeah.
So Dice is mad at what Chovy did to his other mid laner and wants to come in for some revenge. This could get dicey. Oh no. Oh god.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that one.
It's probably going to happen again further down the line, guys.
Tell me
so
about
I
how
apologize in advance.
At least he's not playing Twisted Fate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, I think this is a really nice, strong pairing with the Graves. Dice likes to play Zoe a lot, and that was left open, but it doesn't really synergize that well with the jungler they have here because you can't really secure kills that way. And you know, with the matchup with Gragas versus Malphite, you know, Graves might not be finding any kills there either, so he's going to be facing off against a Hecarim, which is also not great for him. So the Aurelia gives you a lot more CC, a lot more aggressive pushing power, and it does empower Youngjae a lot here. We'll see how the matchup goes versus Chovy because Chovy has been kind of winning all of them this tournament so far.
He doesn't really mind who he's up against. I wonder as well whether we might have some weird lane swapping shenanigans as well between our solo laners on Hanwha's side, because you can imagine that Malphite would have a pretty good time against the Aurelia. And, you know, Orianna versus Gragas is a matchup that I haven't had to talk about for about 6 years, but still isn't too bad, right? But Seeker's Armguard is going to get a lot of value.
That was back in Faker's first year of real dominance, right? Back in, what, 2014?
Yeah, 2013, I think.
Late
was when,
13, early 14.
Gragas mid was still good. It's a long time ago now, absolutely. But here we go into game number 2. Let's see whether it's Hanwha that's going to progress forward or whether we're going to get a game 3. Here we are. Already got some wagon wheels coming out from Morgan, who's going to walk down. That's probably a mistake. As Youngjae comes in, we'll get a few shots into him.
Ouch.
This is going to be a back, and he won't miss out on anything.
The good news is that he took a really bad trade very early on.
Yeah, exactly.
If he had had that trade a few seconds later, the news would not be, the prognosis would not be good.
Well, he saw the ward. Nice work from Chovy. Puts his ball over at exactly the right time.
Skinless again here, actually, in the mid lane.
Ooh, but Arthur's got a very cool fiery skin.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to ride on that.
No, certainly wouldn't. Unless you're in Sleepy Hollow.
Sure.
Which looks very similar to the same horse that was ridden by the Headless Horseman.
Or unless I have like Link's fire resistance tunic, you know.
Oh, that's true as well. You do. Need
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, if you had that, you'd be fine. Especially the one from Breath of the Wild that is like industrial as heck, instead of just being a red version of any other tunic.
Instead of just being an alternate Smash Bros. Costume.
Yeah, exactly. As an Ignite down already onto Deft. The Samira getting targeted. Otherwise, not too much to worry about.
Deft is like, can I just play the game and shoot minions and
Yeah,
chill for a second, please?
Whoa,
wow.
That's a big flash forward as Kale's going to get not stunned up because it's a level 1 Vista. However, you got to chill, Kale. All right? Young.G's going to come in and say no to the horses.
Yeah.
He's,
hold your horses even.
Exactly. Arthur's getting wrangled at this point in time.
Well, not going to be fully domesticated in this case. I'm just going to walk away.
Damn, Kale, he's got his pajamas on. It's like he's ready for bed, but actually he's ready for action. Smacking him down. Deft going for a little bit of a back here as this wave, oh no, it's in an awful position for Hanwha Live.
This is really terrible for Deft.
Yeah, they're holding on to it.
Does Deft just ever get to play the game, like, for real? Like, you know, this was actually one of my most exciting things about today is getting to commentate Deft for the first time. Well, and in this whole tournament, he has just had, he's not been playing badly, but he has had, he hasn't been dominating, right?
No, he's been having a bit of a tough time.
And he gets there eventually, and he will in this game too, but a little bit longer before we get to that Immortal Shield Bow for this guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just a little bit longer.
And no flash as well, so that makes things definitely a bit of a worry. Wolfcamp's still up here for Arthur. We'll see whether he goes up to that before opting into anything else, because that topside Rift Scuttler is the one that is still around. But Arthur has been dictated to a little bit, as Young.G is going to be able to take down the Rift Scuttler and
Dice
move further forward.
Dice could look for a play here. This is what I'm talking about with the Aurelia, but it's dodged.
Yeah, Flawless Duet not going to land, and Clockwork Wind-Up actually doing a bit of work here for Chovy, as I don't know whether Arthur was spotted. Young.G coming in for the double scuttle.
That's what I'm worried about here.
Well, there's the charge up. Chovy does have inside track, but Kale moves on over here as well. One thing on his mind, Shellfish. And he gets it.
Praise mans think only about one thing.
Yes.
And it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's just, give me more lobsters. Speaking of which, we need to have another seafood
Fish
day.
market? Yeah, I'm down for that.
It's real good.
Might have to wait a little while, but I'm ready. As soon as things chill.
You came with us when Chips and Noir came over from France,
yeah.
right? And we went to the fish market.
It's a good time.
Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic, guys.
Yeah, if you do get a chance to come to Korea in safer times, definitely recommend going to fish market.
Oh yeah.
Especially, well, you know, go with some locals.
Yeah, try and find someone that knows how to barter a little bit. But the fact that you can just like get the seafood and then they take it to a restaurant and cook it for you, like it's just it's so awesome. Like, you find what you want to eat and then they prepare it for you. It's just all good. Well, Young.G is going to be spotted on that ward as he comes down. You can see a little bit of baiting and positioning here from Hanwha Life just to try and waste as much of his time as possible. But you can see 400 gold the lead here for Gen.G.
Arthur kind of rotating down here as well to grab the rocks, but also to be present in case things do get out of hand down here.
Yep. And pretty angry sapling jumps out of the brush there. It's the little kitty cat.
It is important to note that even though this is a much slower tempo game for Gen.G, the scaling is going to be much more powerful for Chovy, arguably, than Dice in the late game. But Dice has the ability to split push and get side objectives. It's an even game.
Yeah, this is much more of an interesting question when it comes to the scaling. Last time it was very comfortable.
Yeah, last time it was black and white.
Yeah, exactly. Hanwha is going to scale and Gen.G are not. This time around, it's not so cut and dry. However, I still would give it to Hanwha, especially when ease of execution is included.
Yeah, I think the what DICE can do in late game with Aurelia is based on what the game state is in their lead or lack thereof at that late game. If they are ahead, then they do a lot.
Yeah.
And split push a lot while there's pressure going on elsewhere. I also...
Oh, wow. Okay, very aggressive. Twisted Advance is going to get Kale further forward, but not a lot of mana here for the Maokai. Envy gets taken down to half, and it's pretty even on the trade. Vista, the one coming out ahead.
Death had 6. Down. It would have been beautiful.
Oh man, triple scuttles going to Young.G. He's having a much better time than Arthur here in the jungle.
He could open his own fish market.
Yeah, seriously. Frog market. Okay, Young.G and Lonely.
Arthur
pop over the wall. That's going to be the smite, but it's a very dead horse.
Yeah, this was actually... I mean, he's lost so much farm in the jungle that he's 16 CS down, and he's level 4 to Young.G's 6. So
that's ridiculous.
Young.G is just never... Actually, his jungle is the blue side jungle now.
He has all of the jungles.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 camps ahead is just nutty.
Like this might
5
actually
camps now. 5 camps.
This might actually require Chovy to kind of like help out at some point.
But it's actually a really hard lane for Chovy to overextend in actually against Aurelia. You really don't want to give her a long lane to chase you down in. So
not to mention that if you leave it for 1 second, he's going to be crashing a wave.
Yeah. It's definitely worrying. The Hecarim will still do Hecarim things as the game goes on, but you really don't want to be waiting too long to collect that Trinity Cross.
This is not going to be Peanuts' game of earlier.
No, exactly.
He is certainly going to be very passive now throughout this stage. And from what we've seen of Hecarim so far in this tournament, so usually he can actually be pretty aggressive against Graves in the early game, but he has just lost so much farm.
Oh, Lonely got the Gromp as well. Oh my goodness. It's just bad to worse. As Chovy's still winning, so there's that. You know, Morgan's very even in the top lane. Def is only, 10 CS, more like 16 CS behind, but does have a wave stacking up. But he did have to go back to base early, blew his flash early, that sort of stuff, so you'd expect it. But Young.G is just decimating this jungle matchup.
Because he knows he's so ahead and he's not worried about Morgan here, he's just like, I'm going to take this Rift Herald, there's nothing he can do. He's actually hoping Arthur comes. He's like, oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is that so? You'd like to have this? We're going to have a discussion about that with abilities and auto attacks.
As it turns out, Arthur does not want to have that discussion. He's dodging it. He's not going to turn up for his meeting. He's instead just going to go and hang out with some puppies as Def misses a cannon minion and everyone collectively gets
You are always ready to call out the cannon minion misses. I feel like there's probably like you've got like a log written down somewhere.
It hurts my heart, man, every time it happens. Is Arthur not going to get picked off this time?
And he's got 6, so this is actually
that's a ghost. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll need to okay, no,
that's
just going to run quicker to his respawning raptor camp.
You know, we don't always get glimpses into the players' psychosis and where their emotions are at in a game, right? And we don't even have player counts for this tournament because of safety reasons and all that. But I think that was a glimpse into the mood for Arthur at the moment.
Yes, yes, indeed. That's a shockwave. That's just to deter DICE from being able to do too much more. Bit of a back coming in here from Chovy as he's about 12 CS in the lead, sitting at 94 at 9.5 minutes. Not bad at all. Fiendish. Sorry, Lost Chapter has been completed. We'll see where he goes item-wise. I believe it was Luden's last game, but he can go for all sorts of things this time around if he wants to.
I'm curious to see where Lonely goes in this because he's built magic resistance here because of the matchup, and see, it obviously is going to be useful against Chovy as well later on if he builds it into something, but see what items he does grab here in this Gragas versus Malphite top matchup.
Yep. I like the value that Malphite is going to add, but it's not necessarily a matchup that you're going to win or anything like that. Kale moving on over, they'll clear out some vision and throw down an extra ward here also. So Envy and Kale having a really easy time here in the bottom side.
He built
once again.
He built an Aegis with that. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, nice.
You don't see that in the top lane all too often.
Oh, it's going to be the Sunfire Aegis on the full tank Gragas this time around.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of AP, and also he's the only source of magic damage on his team outside of Malphite. So I would have liked him to go AP this game, but Lonely said, no, that's not what I feel like doing, is Def might need to be a little bit careful here. Vista's going to spot Gen.G. That's going to be Def making his way out, though. Just dashes on forward. Lonely looking for more. The brambles come down. Remember, there's a turret still here, Lonely. You have to be careful as Arthur misses the ulti. Good flash out, and that's going to allow the Gragas to remain safe, but Vista's not so lucky.
Yeah, the explosive cask a little bit interestingly used there. Would have thought he would want to use it actually in the more relevant part of the fight there. We're not going to secure a kill. Watch the angle on that again in the replay, very likely, but it's still a positive exchange. They trade a teleport into this, or utilize the teleport into this to grab the first break of the game.
Is it going to be another Earthwind fight?
You know?
It might be an Ocean Soul game. I'm feeling Ocean Soul this time around.
Well, that Gragas is hoping for it with the build.
Yes. Well, Def immediately cleanse dashes,
gets
himself out of the way.
Look at Lonely here. Instead of going for Vista, where he might have actually been able to help secure that kill, he actually goes for Deft. I mean, Vista does die, so it's okay, but I thought looking for Deft there was a little bit...
He also hit Deft away instead of grouping him into his team. Yeah. Just a little bit of a mismanagement.
Well, it's okay. Yeah, we'll give it to them. They still got Vista.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, right?
We're not going to be too upset. As, okay, Morgan just starting to do okay in some of these trades.
Yeah, it's very very tanky Gragas, as you mentioned. A lot of armor.
Yep.
And magic resistance. But I guess he's kind of a CC bot in this game in a lot of ways. You know, instead of being damaged.
A decent body slam there from Lonely, but really not doing very much as he tries to avoid it, and the ulti comes out. Yeah, trading ult for ult, both of them with pretty short cooldowns, but Gragas's will be back up a little bit earlier.
Youngjin is like, or Youngjay, excuse me, is like, wait, why did he run away? Did he know I was there? He pings, question mark, pings after sweeping. Like, no, actually, Morgan's just a safe player.
Yep, yeah.
It's actually what happened. They're gonna dive this, it looks like.
Yeah, they do have vision, but I don't know what Morgan's actually going to be able to do. I don't know what his options are. Throws out a wagon wheel onto Lonely here as the brambles come through, and Morgan, yep, he's just going to try and get out, but not likely that he'll be able to, as it's Kale that actually picks up the kill. Morgan actually gave that one to him intentionally. I really like that. Make sure that you don't give the gold to the carries, as Lonely. Very low on mana, but Arthur's not really a threat at this point in time. And yeah, the horse just continues to be anemic. He's still only, 20 behind, so 5 camps, but still.
2 levels behind still, but that's going to be less relevant coming up, obviously. And he's going to be able to set up a lot in team fights if he can get big fears, if he lives through that. The, damage output for Gen.G is going to be hard to kill him before he actually gets relevant. You're going to see a few fights here, I think, where Arthur just runs in and fears people and then dies, and then shockwaves come through. And
yeah, and then maybe it's going to be okay, right?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, he did his job, right? And then Deft is going to clean everything up. He's got his Immortal Shield Bow. We haven't really been talking about Deft that much in terms of that, because I feel like we kind of did the commentary thing where we're like, well, let's talk about what Samira does. We already did that twice, so we kind of like moved along with like, yeah, well, he's going to do that now, and everyone's like, it's Samira. Is he going to win every team fight? It's like, well, probably. Like, I haven't really touched on it, but he's got that. He's got that big power spike item online now, so next few team fights probably going to be a little bit more successful for Hanwha, Life Esports.
Envy, not quite in a similar boat. He's just got his man immune, as Arthur just can't catch a break whatsoever. He's this flaming horse of awesome, but it's just not really. It's sort of like the movie Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I really.
It's just a bad movie.
It's actually not. Actually, I thought that he would have a much higher impact in the jungle this game. Like, I thought with between him and Chovy, he'd be a little bit more comfortable. We'd be seeing an even game out of him, worst case scenario. I kind of misjudged where he'd be in this game. But he is... Definitely, he's number 10 out of 10 on the player relevancy skill in this game at the moment.
Yes, that is definitely true. Chovy hasn't been able to have as much, I guess, push power in this game, just because Dice does need to be respected for his all-in. He now has his Blade of the Ruin King completed, And as you can see, you know, like Dice can just fish for CC onto Chovy, and Chovy doesn't really want to step too far forward. So just Young-J's had run of the map based on how this mid lane was organized from Gen.G. So I do really like the Aurelia being put here. Whether it actually means that Gen.G just straight up wins, we are yet to find out. But close to 3,000 gold the lead here for Gen.G. And that's definitely great news. Dice will pick up a turret shot, but go straight into a shield, so no worries.
I wonder functionally how Lonely will perform in a lot of these fights with the build he's gone, because this is pretty uncharted territory for us in this this tournament for this Gragas tank build. And he's up on CS. He's had a really comfortable lane. We'll hold that thought for a moment.
Yep, there's the Solar Flare as in comes the onslaught of shadows. Kale is definitely dead, but Young-J going to come on down, and Arthur would have loved that kill, but Deft somehow got it with a Q over the wall. Okay. Not bad, but still, you know, give Samira the kill.
Hey, Arthur did something in this game, and he's probably happy with that for now.
Heck yeah, he did. Landed that ultimate. Nicely done. Has his Trinity Force now complete. Gale Force is done for Young-J, though, so he's still much further ahead.
If we get Earth, Wind, and Fire, and we do end up having that Mountain Soul and, you know, subsequent Mountain Drakes coming through, and Gen.G gets those, I feel like it's, you know, Gragas build will probably end up working out pretty well.
Oh, damn right. Yeah.
But if it goes, if Morgan actually gets the, if Morgan actually gets the mountains, because it feels like we're getting a Mountain Soul here. It just
but
based on the pattern,
if Morgan builds all armor, Gen.G don't kill him ever.
Yeah. And he's a better tank just by base stats than Gragas ever will be.
Well, there's the Ocean Drake.
Okay, well.
That's going to be the soul this time around. So it was
as I
suspected.
Yeah, you actually called it. Said earlier. You're the Drake Messiah.
I figured it out.
Rain Man over here.
Morgan and Lonely, they do a bit of damage to each other. These Sunfire
a little bit.
Are just real dumb.
I have like a Sunfire Aegis stack sort of agreement.
Battle.
Well, there's not much to say about this one. Def gets the kill over the wall, like you said.
Sniped it out, and he decides he doesn't want to go in for the fight. So just a kill for no response. Definitely good news for Hanwha.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty good. Def gets the gold.
Oh yeah.
Arthur wants it, but Def needs to be the big carry this game. He needs to put this team on his back, and whenever he subsequent fight, needs to rush out that Bloodthirster if he can. Okay, this is going to be the first all-in on the Chovy.
Shockwave comes down as it is going to be Chovy falling. In goes Envy. Vista gives up, and it's just going to be a pile-on. Chovy not going to survive this time around. Young-J has found Morgan as well. He does have his ultimate, uses it to get to safety. Deft now looking for Envy, and in fact, Deft destroys all of the Acathian Rain quite nicely there. No issues.
This is starting to look like
it's starting to look like a Gen.G win, man.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we've seen some of these games in both series today where one team is ahead, but it's a composition problem where, you know, obviously they have that tempo lead, they have the confidence going to be stronger during that point in the game, and this game, it's not quite as black and white, and it starts to feel like a real long-term lead. Like, this is a lead that is not going away in the late game. Like, as we approach the late game, it looks like Gen.G can definitely carry this forward, this momentum. Yeah. Especially because Aurelia is having a decent time in mid, and the split push potential that comes with that is quite immaculate. This is just a great, finally actually gets the stun of the Chovy. The Shockwave is not enough.
That flawless duet finally working out for him.
Kale actually steals another kill, by the way. Maokai's are wont to do that for some reason.
He has 3 out of their 4 kills.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Maokai's a big kill steal champion.
It's like someone limps away and then they walk into a sapling, you know? Oh, that was frustrating. Dice didn't get his reset. Feels bad.
Yeah, might have to call this the Kale steal for the rest of this game.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I just realized his name's Kale and he's playing a tree, so that's pretty cool too.
Sure.
He's not exactly lettuce, but it's pretty close. Chovy back into his lane, continuing to dominate as far as farm is concerned. The classic 30 ahead of the clock this time as we ticked over to 20. But despite dying, he's still absolutely okay. Side lanes, I mean, Morgan should be okay against Dice. I mean, Conqueror is going to be helping as far as breaking through the Malphite is concerned, but Just have to see. Rift Herald comes down, and that is going to be a dead outer turret, and that's going to make Chovy's life a living hell, to be honest.
I'm trying to break it before he charges, but not going to happen.
Nope. Deft. Yeah, he's going to have to be real careful. There are a lot of bad guys coming.
Yeah, this has kind of been the story of Deft, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They're always trying to get him.
Okay, dashing around, looking for, you know, some damage onto Lonely. I think he's real dead, mega dead, epically dead. Just the most.
Meanwhile,
Dice is also dead. He may have been looking in the wrong spot. That solar flare was a bad one though, and the ignite ticking down, not going to get the kill.
Wow.
Oh, that's bad news, Bez.
Yeah. So it's looking like a Gen.G win, looking like the double game 3.
It is certainly looking like 6 games on the day.
I mean, it's not over yet, and maybe when Deft gets a chance to team fight and not almost push into turret alone in the side lane, we'll see a real team fight, and things will be. He'll actually get to use his ultimate in a real positive way.
Well,
make a positive influence on Hanwha Life Esports' gold pool.
I wouldn't be ahead of yourself, but that's okay.
Look, I'm just trying to be the positive color commentator. Like I said, we got a few more matches left of me commentating. You guys could be cynical, but I'm just not there yet. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. I've been that guy. I've definitely been that guy. Maybe not for long enough. As we've got 13 seconds on this Ocean Drake. Gen.G will have Soul Point if they can put this one together. Hanwha Life, though, they could stack up 4. And that is mega high value.
Yeah.
Quadra Ocean Drake, especially if you put it on top of, like...
Malphite?
Yeah, Malphite or the Hecarim, who can also put down his W for all that extra regen. That'd be real silly. Dice is spotted heading towards the top lane. This might be an opportunity as Morgan is going to find him. There's the knock-up. Onslaught of Shadows comes down. Does manage to mitigate a bit of the damage, but Arthur is still going to be able to pick up that kill. So that's the first for the horse. But it is just going to be Graves taking down this Drake for free. And that's not really what you want if you're a Hanwha Life fan.
It's certainly not great, but it does feel like, you know, there are some really big upcoming team fights coming in through for Hanwha Life Esports where they're starting to get, you know, almost completely online. Like, Deft is still missing his next item here, but once he's got that completed, and you go into the Ocean Soul fight, into some of these upcoming Baron fights, like, I feel like, given the engage tools that they have, the Shockwave, the Unstoppable Force, there is a lot of team fights that can almost wombo combo go Hanwha Life Esports' way. I'm not trying to say they will, or that we should assume that's going to happen, but there's a lot of variance in these upcoming team fights where Hanwha Life Esports can win fights even that don't look winnable just because of the crazy CC they have and that insane damage potential.
And Chovy.
And Chovy.
Who's now got a Seraph's Embrace completed. He's 0-1-0, but he's almost doing that Flame Horizon thing again. 75 CS in the lead at 23 minutes. So Dice did 25 CS better. Nice work, man. They also killed
the Yona effect.
Was, real good. Yep, the Yona effect was a dangerous one. Okay, the what the heck? Envy loses more than half of his health from a dissonance.
Uh-oh, though, the cast.
Yeah, Vista might be in trouble, but that 2-man Shockwave was so good. Envy tries to limp out of there as the Void Seeker comes through. But Arthur gets caught up by the kitty cat brambles. It's not going to be enough, though. God, Chovy does so much damage.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Solar Flare, unfortunately, just a little bit too late. There's no follow-up to get the kill.
I mean, Morgan could just go in with the ulti. If he has an orb on him, Dissonance will kill everyone.
Well, he's he's definitely considering it.
Yeah, he was looking for it. Frozen Hearts for both of our top laners, actually.
Deft is off-laning again, and this is where the pings are coming through.
Yep.
Already, Gen.G is like, okay, can we grab him again?
Oh, on a ward as well, as Young J didn't want him to get out.
That's a catch you want for sure.
Yeah, that was a dangerous moment. Trinity Force almost done hit the dice. Very, very close to that one. Yeah.
The
still doesn't have Sheen portion of it, which is one of the most valuable parts for an Aurelia, but still, it's okay.
Yeah,
not going to judge.
More focused on zooming around and getting solo kills, I think, than longevity damage-wise. Although I guess the Sheen could help you with that too.
Yep.
Well, we have the Collector finished now for Deft. So he was collecting a lot of extra gold in those side lanes to try to catch up. It's only 10 CS down now.
Yep. Kraken Slayer done for Envy on the other side.
Yep.
Still behind by a little bit. Actually, no, he's still ahead when it comes to money by a bit, I think, as far as the effective items that he has.
Yeah, plus some extra assist goal, I guess.
Yep. Chovy, 308, 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
keep
this
talking about it, I know, but it's just always fascinates me how
the
he
conversation
manages to find them.
will never change when he's in game. I feel like for the next few Chovy games.
Yes, indeed. Maybe, in my case, all year. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Arthur cantering towards the mid lane, finds himself a cat hiding in the brushes.
See Dice pushing towards the top lane because this is kind of this lull state where abilities are being tossed at each other as the game comes into ARAM for a second. He's going to go over there. They have 2 control wards on Baron, so there's no fear around that. If anyone starts rotating up towards him through the river, then he's going to be fully escapable there. And he's just going to grab another wave here of minions. Pretty significantly large one at that.
Chovy's 2 levels ahead. Dice only just hitting level 15.
There's actually a lot of Hanwha members showing on the map. A little bit scary for Def to be pushing up like this versus Dice, but looks like Dice is not going to push the issue.
Yep, not too interested in it. Trinity Force now done for Dice. This could be a big time to fight for these guys. And we've got the Ocean Drake coming up. This is going to be the big moment.
Yeah, this
for
is
Gen.G.
this has to be Gen.G closing the book. There's no epilogue here.
No.
Dice actually didn't back. He stayed and got the next wave. So just being a little bit greedy up there.
That's okay. He's got teleport.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of money.
Absolutely fine. Bot wave was pushed out, so Hanwha do have a little bit more flexibility in their movements, and this time they are going to contest for this Drake.
And Def does not have teleport. He has to take the long walk down. He should be here in time.
Yep. Mid wave is going to be controlled by Chovy, of course, so that's good news for them. He misses a cannon, but that's okay. Won't hold it against him.
This is one of the strengths of Aurelia. You can just keep getting that money, keep pushing hard. Teleport coming in.
Yep, just going to get him into the area. Lonely is in position as well. That cast could be very dangerous. As double control wards do come down, barrel in there as well, and this is going to be the team fight before anything else, but that's a party cast. That's not what you want out of Lonely. The roots come down, but Vista just soaks it with the Eclipse. Now Young-J waiting off to the side. Vista now looking for even more. In they go into the backline. Big knockups though from Hanwha. Trophy grabs the first kill. And Samira starting to pop off the reset. So there is Depth down to half. In goes Envy with the killer instinct, but Arthur has found him. And Depth's still alive, guys. This is most likely going to be the ace as Envy goes golden. The flash on over, and here are the DRX boys. Here to say that we are basically the same team, but called Hanwha Life.
Yep. Indeed. Well, that's going to be, the Drake taken here. They're going to be able to take it away, deny that soul. Let's watch the fight again. As you talk about Lonely, he's on the side here. Hanwha Life is collapsing on top of him.
What was the cast?
And the cast just isn't there. If it's here, it's perfect, right? The team gets split in half, but it just never happens. And he gets zoned away. And now look at Kale, caught here, taking a ton of damage. And you see really nice engage here coming through, and Depth is just ready to clean it up.
Oh, and the quick draw, Chovy watches it happen, and then instantly the graves explode.
This is the wombo combo potential, right, that I was talking about, where some of these fights doesn't look like it's necessarily going to go Hanwha's way. This one looked like it was going to go Hanwha's way, and then it really did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like the only chance that they really had Gen.G of winning this fight once Lonely was zoned off was a really nice cast to split everybody in half. Kale's ult was really good, and it could have actually really helped them split, potentially even Deft off to the side to isolate and kill him. And Hanwha Life Esports on their way back into this map, potentially.
Yeah, Trophy with a Horizon focus
And want more.
time as there's the Shockwave. That's going to bring the tree back. Let's get a bit of his health here as Arthur is pretty squishy, but it is going to be Vista that grabs that kill. Massive two-man knockup as the Malphite turns up, and I think Samira's online, guys, and this game may just be over. The tower's going to be taken down as well, and another S rank comes through from the Samira, and that might just be the rating that Defs gets at the end of this one, as they are going to mow down this inner turret, maybe the inhibitor as well.
Might be more of a C, but...
Hey, wait, we're talking about, like, it's about recency bias. We need recency bias.
Recency bias, but hey, look, he's 6-1-4 at the end of the day.
Score lines are what tell it, right? As Vanguard's edge goes completely wide, Dice realizes that there aren't any left. As Deft dashes on top of him, Like, who's the best melee champion? Maybe it's Samira.
You know, we might want to ban some more of those Samiras. Might want to give the Graves instead in some of these games.
Yep. Chobi gonna grab that kill real comfortably. Kale's just gonna leave. He doesn't want anything to do with this game at all. And Hanwha Life, they do get the 2-0, but don't just look at the scoreline. Gen.G certainly giving them more of a run for their money, even if it is just their academy roster.
I think there's a lot of, a lot of team fights that go a little bit weird in the late game because of some misjudged positions and some lack of real initiation, like some lack of commitment to going into these fights. You know, some of these fights look like, okay, Gen.G's got a good position. How are they going to fight this? How are they going to ult this? Kale drops in his big slow on top of everything, and then where is the exploding cast? You pointed it out. That's what you need to win that fight. Otherwise, you just let it go the way of Hanwha Life Esports. They jump deft into the middle of everything. Everybody gets slowed. There's a big shockwave. There's tons of damage coming out from Chovy. You have to commit. You have to be bold in these fights, or your small lead gets washed away in all of 2 seconds in a wombo combo. They've got a Malphite on the other side. They've got Shockwave. They just needed to close the book. They had to close the chapter, end the game.
It felt like what it was in both of these games, actually, one after the other. And I imagine Gen.G are going to walk away from this thinking, we could have got him.
For sure.
Because they had him in the first half,
Not gonna
absolutely,
lie.
both times. So really, really nicely done. I think this doesn't necessarily bode well for Hanwha Life's chances against the world champions. I think Damwon probably looking at a bit of a 3-zip or a 2-zip on that one. I think semifinals best of 5, so
I think so.
Yeah, haven't got confirmation there. I believe that will be I'm not in tomorrow. It's Brendan. So we I think we're going to take a look at some highlights of the end of that game, and then we're going to take a look at the damage chart, and then we're going to look at more highlights, and then we're going to have a look at tomorrow.
Yeah, look at tomorrow after today's result, the small results page.
Yep. And then we're going to have a look at some Christmas dinner, right, Wolf?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
Exciting night ahead.
It's a late Christmas dinner, but
we still have
Christmas dinner's a good one.
We still have an hour and 50 minutes of Christmas left.
Hell yeah. It's been a long broadcast. I mean, as far as double best of 3s are concerned, I mean, for 5 games, these were big games, right?
Yeah, they really were.
Our first series, everything is past 35 minutes. This series as well actually took a little bit longer, so I'm really glad that we got the value out of this. I was expecting, our close series to be over after our first one of the night, but already proven wrong despite the fact that it was a 2-0. So yeah, that's really good stuff.
I mean, Gen.G's academy team has shown some sparks here, some really exciting games, and some real potential. And I think these players are still. I mean, I know these players are still young, and they will probably find homes, not even necessarily in the LCK, but elsewhere in the world. I think these guys are destined to find spots eventually if they can compete this well with Hanwha Life's deft roster with Chovy. That's a good sign.
Even just filling out this Gen.G squad, right, that is now so deep, because you've got so much more to look at when it comes to, Gen.G. Their academy team can then feed into their main roster, and it just means they have so much more breadth. So same can be said for T1. They definitely looked better on their final day than they did on their first couple. It certainly didn't give a lot of hope to the academy roster, but they still do have a lot of potential on that team. I think Miru especially is a player that is worth watching out for. Some of his plays, even in the LCK for this year, were very, very good. So not bad at all. But yeah, I'm just waiting for these highlights to come through.
I must have misheard, but I thought we were doing a quick highlight of the last few team fights before we go into the main highlights. But I think we're skipping to the main highlights, and then we're going to go into.
I'm just going to go along for the ride. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy it.
It's very chill,
it's Christmas, That's why we've got the fun hat. Do you want to try it on?
Sure. I guess I could put it over my headset.
Yeah. There's a little the hat stand. There it is.
That's what this is for, right?
Yeah. You can see there's tinsel falling off.
I'm not going to slither in no. I'm a good boy, okay? I was a positive
some
commentator.
of the best wizards came from Slytherin, Wolf. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where I like go the other way. I'm like, I am not Hufflepuff. I'm like I'm very, very creative thinker. I write poetry in my spare time. I should have been in Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
And they put me with the popular kids in Hufflepuff.
You sound like a guy that'd want to go to Ravenclaw. You know, that's the hipster house in Harry Potter. That was the one.
I wore a lot of dark clothing in high school, and so therefore I think that this just makes sense.
You know, you should be in Slytherin if you're wearing too much dark
You got
clothing.
some tinsel.
Yeah, no, that's yours. You can have that. It's a gift.
I think I put the hat on too hard.
It's okay.
Okay, we're
I
going.
mean, it's missing a few bits. Here are the highlights, by the way, guys. Arthur had a bad time. A
Yeah.
real bad time. Young.G was great for the early game of this particular game.
This is definitely going to be, I think, the test case game for the Tank Gragas. You know, this is going to be the game that people probably look back at if we see this again. It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't see this again.
Maybe you should hit your abilities, though.
Yeah, or,
Maybe
you know,
that's
use them at
part of
all.
it. Yeah.
This is a nice little pick on the Kale. Stolen by Deft, but not really stolen, but acquired, I guess.
Yes, delivered very nicely.
This was a really nice all-in on the Chovy. I didn't expect that we'd actually see any kills on the Chovy from Dice here, just because Chovy's so safe, but he made it happen. Okay, this is the fight we're talking about, right? Lonely's off on the edge. I don't know if we actually even had a replay of this, but you can see the ult coming through from Maokai, and that was the moment, but he's just zoned out by Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan's just like fighting him, wanting to stop everything, but then the unstoppable force of appeal is just too good.
And Deft is like, okay, time to press the R button.
I think that was Young.G. Gale Force quick drawing into a shockwave.
Yes.
So maybe I shouldn't have been giving credit to Chovy for that one.
I mean,
yeah, bad news.
Chovy's shockwave was put in the right place for where he wanted to be, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
he knows what he doesn't want, which is that to come into his face and kill him. And Shockwave's in a good place for that, to prevent that, I should say.
Yep.
This is when Deft is like, oh, I can also kill minions with this watch.
He's like, look, they gave me an S. My performance is fantastic. Never mind. Look, I got it again. Wah! Fantastic.
Look at that Chovy damage.
Yeah, Chovy carried this whole series, by the way. Don't let him have Orianna.
He
I
dealt
think
with-
is the rule.
He dealt with two of the more unusual mid picks as well, in the Yone and Aurelia, with flying colors, made it look like it was just another day of solo queue.
Yep. And just like casually farming better than anybody else on the planet and just being really, really good.
Yeah.
Great to see Chovy performing well.
The profile picture of Hanwha Life Esports, and you look at it, actually, Deft is like pointing his finger.
Yeah.
And they actually put Chovy like where his finger is. And he's like, I know you guys are hyped about me, but you should be hyped about his Chovy.
And I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people I think we love Deft, but I think we know that he's not necessarily the best AD carry in the region performance-wise right now. We know that he has the potential. Deft has been, in the conversation for best in the world for a very long time. But, he's seemed a little bit lax throughout this tournament.
Yeah, I think Deft has also kind of been best in his career during pretty stable metas, and this is absolutely not that, right? Like he's playing he's playing Samira, right, which is a very newly relevant champion, and here's that that result screen, but twice the information on it this time than it was before.
This is crazy. I don't know whether I can absorb all of this at once.
5 W's.
And all of them went to League of Legends teams.
That's right, and wait until you see the tournament bracket. It's going to have all the teams in the semifinals.
Oh my
4 for
god. 4. Okay, Hanwha versus Damwon. Will, I believe, be our first one, which will be happening tomorrow, our Boxing Day special, or for some of you guys, still Christmas Day. And then Nongshim versus KT to see whether we will, in fact, have the puck clash from the intro video that is Damwon versus Nongshim. But
that's the big question.
KT went 4-0 in their groups. They are looking good. We'll have to see the power of Group B and whether it actually stands up.
That graphic
to Group A
did confirm the order as well. It was correct that you said.
Yes.
Just making
I
sure.
knew I'd get something right eventually if I just stayed at it. That's what I felt.
Well, I got the semis, the bracket wrong.
Yeah,
earlier,
me too.
so.
I think yesterday I just said wrong thing after wrong thing after wrong thing and just got everything wrong. So hopefully you guys are just really surprised and excited about the fact that things aren't happening the way that you expected them to. However, those last couple of graphics did make sure that we knew what was going on. So Damwon versus Hanwha tomorrow. The next day we are going to have KT versus Nongshim. And I think the second match is going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to that one. However, just watching Damwon play is always fun. Checking out Canyon and seeing just how well he's going to navigate the jungle this time around is just always a joy to watch.
I'm all about Showmaker myself at the moment. I think he's really, really good. And then this meta, it's super important for your mid laner to be that anchor.
Yep, and Showmaker versus Chovy is one hell of a matchup.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants to see. Ghost versus Deft is another one with a lot of emotion behind it after watching, of course, the final in Summer LCK. Because Deft did say, you know, it might have been scripted, but Deft did say, I will never lose to Ghost. And then he lost to Ghost in the next 2 best-of-5s, 3-0.
Yeah, I saw today also that that was like confirmed that basically Ghost actually just broke 50% win rate. Out of all the teams he'd been on throughout his career, he actually had not broken 50% win rate. He'd been struggling his whole life to be a top-tier bot laner. World's champion, and just broke 50% win rate, so... you know, Deft, we'll see if he can actually keep up with the new blood.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, Ghost has been around for a really long time. He's a redemption story, and why it's so cool. He played so well at Worlds. We will be able to get another look at Damwon tomorrow. But for now, I think we're done. I think it's Christmas dinner time, Wolf.
Yeah, we're getting very close to the end of this broadcast. Been a pleasure covering this. My first double day of League of Legends series, or double series day. We got the best ofs. We get to see the evolution of a series, you know.
This is a look behind, you know, what goes into just a regular LCK day as well. It's like your first double best of 3. So I think you passed with flying colors.
Thanks, man. Thanks for carrying me again.
Oh, no, you are more than welcome. I think both of us went a little bit loopy at the end, but that's exactly what you want. And I think the music's getting a little bit louder. So we are going to say goodnight. We'll see you tomorrow for more KeSPA Cup.